Welcome to Truth Beyond Theory, Raw and Uncut, Mystery Babylon, Part 1. Alright, well, let's get right into it. Mystery Babylon, and if you haven't watched the series, Part 1, 2, and 3, pause this video, go back and watch it. Okay, Part 1 talks about how it was a popular theory, how the Vatican, Rome, the Catholic Church, is Mystery Babylon. Part 2 talks about how it's another popular theory, how America is seen as Mystery Babylon. And then Part 3 reveals exactly who Mystery Babylon is according to the Bible. Now, Mystery Babylon, the mother of harlots, right? Some translations, it's the mother of harlots, the woman. They calls it the prostitute. Basically, it's a religious system. It's a that's why it's called the mother of harlots, because harlotry comes from her. Idol worship comes from her. And if you've been following me so far, I've been showing you how the Bible points to Islam regarding all of these things. Like when I started my channel, speaking about the mark of the beast, because I kept debating with myself, like, how do I want to start this channel? How do I want to start this series? And I was like, you know what, let me go with the mark of the beast, because that seems to be a little bit more popular and everybody's pointing to these different things. And I showed how in that series how the mark of the beast is in fact the charagma that is worn on the foreheads of Muslims. They wear the bandana headbands and the armbands on their right arms and on their foreheads, and on it is either the Shahada or Bismillah, in the name of Allah. Excuse me. And Bismillah, the symbols for Bismillah are identical to the Greek numbers 666. If you haven't watched this yet, go back and check it out. It'll blow your mind. So the Greek number 666, which the Bible tells us, and it's the number of his name, it actually reads an Arabic phrase, Bismillah, in the name of Allah. So there's the mark of the beast. And then, but we also learned that there are 6 verses in Revelation that speaks of the mark of the beast, and it's the mark of the beast, and there's a worship of an image. So the second series talks about, excuse me, the image. And I showed how the image is the Kaaba that is in Arabia. And there's a black stone in the Kaaba, and they all worship this stone. Muslims worldwide. There's the 5 pillars of Islam, and the second pillar is Salah, and the 5th pillar is the Hajj. The Hajj is a pilgrimage to Mecca. And then there's this thing called Qibla. Qibla is the directional prayer to Mecca. So all Muslims, if you ever seen a Muslim pray, they all face towards Mecca, because they're praying to the Kaaba, and they're praying to the stone that is in the Kaaba. If you don't know anything about what I'm speaking about, go and watch the series or Google these things. Go on YouTube, watch a video or something, and look at what happens in the Kaaba. In fact, I don't know if it's still happening, but they just had a celebration of this. They were just, they were just celebrating this. And so all Muslims pray towards Mecca, to the Kaaba, and pray and bow and prostrate themselves to the black stone. It's idol worship. The Bible talks about this prostration to these carved images being idol worship. It talks about Baal and Molech and all of these different gods that angers the Lord that the peoples are doing these things. And so if anyone who converts to Islam, when they pray towards Mecca, and they're praying towards this Kaaba. Now they would tell you that they don't worship it, but it's anyone with common sense and a logical mind knows that it's literally idol worship, literally. So they're praying towards this Kaaba, and that's the image, because remember, the beast forces the people to worship its image, and then to wear this charagma. In English, it calls it the mark, but in the original text, in the original language in which it was being spoken, it was actually a badge of servitude. So the mark actually means badge of servitude, which could have been an emblem or some sort of stamp, but it was something that is worn on the foreheads and right arms. And that is something that the Ottoman Empire has done for centuries. You don't see much of it now, especially here in America and in the modern times. But a lot of jihadi in the Middle East, a lot of jihadis still wear the badge of servitude, the shah. They still wear the karakma. So there's the image. And then, well, who's Mystery Babylon and who's the beast, right? So Mystery Babylon, I revealed in part 3, is that it is Saudi Arabia. Now, people, like I said, people will say it's the Vatican, it's America. I've seen somebody say it was Kamala Harris. Like, they actually associated it as being an actual individual, which absolutely made no sense. There's not even a dual meaning there. Like, it made absolutely no sense whatsoever. So, Mystery Babylon, in its context, is a city that produces harlotry. From her comes idol worship. From her. And I showed in part 3 that it is in fact Saudi Arabia. What is in Saudi Arabia? Mecca. What is in Mecca? The Kaaba. Where are Muslims praying towards? The Kaaba and the black stone inside of the Kaaba. So it talks about all of these things, her carved images and all of these things. Now, there's a key verse in Revelation 18, because Revelation 18 talks about the destruction of Mystery Babylon. Revelation 17 introduces Mystery Babylon. Revelation 18 and 19 talks about her destruction. And Revelation 18 verse 2 gives us a key verse. Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. So now, you look in the Old Testament, and you look at Isaiah 21, regarding Arabia. And if you watch part 3, I go through all of the verses. But it talks about a desert out of the wilderness. If you look in the original text, the word wilderness is actually desert. Look it up. Look at a Bible interlinear. Look at the Strong's Concordance, and you'll see that wilderness isn't actually that's in the English, but in the original Hebrew, it's desert. Even in Revelation 17, John says, and then this, I was taken to the wilderness. In my spirit was taken into a wilderness. So he was taken to a desert. John's vision of the Mystery Babylon in Revelation 17 was in a desert. This is facts. You can't refute that. That's actual facts, because he says he was taken into the desert when he saw this vision. Isaiah 21 talks about the burden against the fall of Babylon, a burden against the desert by the sea. Then it goes on to give you the descriptions of the locations of this Babylon that is being destroyed. It talks about Dumma, Dedan, Timan, Arabia. It literally mentions Arabia by name. All of these being located by or inside this desert by the sea. And then it gives you the same reference as Revelation 18 verse 2. Fallen, fallen is Babylon. Revelation 18 verse 2, Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. The same reference regarding Babylon. So there we see a connection. There's a parallel event. It's the exact same event that we're witnessing in these two different chapters. And then it talks about the Red Sea. Well, it talks about the desert up by the sea. Well, what's the sea? Watch part 2.